Amber couldn't shake the feeling of warmth that had settled in her chest. She had spent the better part of the morning wandering around Maplewood, popping into the small shops along Main Street, and speaking with a few of the locals. Everywhere she went, she felt the same sense of community and care. People in Maplewood knew each other, truly knew each other, and it felt like a world away from the anonymous faces and hurried lives back in the city. By midday, she found herself walking back toward the diner. It wasn't intentional, but something about the place pulled her in, much like the rest of the town. Maybe it was Sam, or maybe it was the way the diner felt like the heart of Maplewood, a place where stories were shared, laughter echoed, and lives intertwined. When she reached the door, Amber hesitated for just a second. She wasn't sure what she was expecting, but a small part of her knew that seeing Sam again was no accident. Her heart skipped a beat as she opened the door, the familiar chime announcing her arrival. Inside, the diner was busier than it had been that morning. The lunch rush had brought in a steady stream of locals, filling the booths and counter seats. Amber took a moment to take it all in, the low hum of conversation, the clatter of plates, and the soft country music playing from the radio in the background. Sam was behind the counter, moving with his usual calm efficiency as he refilled drinks and took orders. His presence was comforting, steady. There was something about watching him work that made the diner feel more like home than any place she'd been in years. As Sam glanced up and saw her standing by the door, his smile widened. "Back again so soon?" he teased as she made her way to the counter. Amber shrugged, feeling a flush creep up her neck. "What can I say? Your coffee might be addictive." He chuckled, pouring her a fresh cup without her needing to ask. "It's the secret ingredient," he said with a wink. "Family recipe." Amber raised an eyebrow. "Is that so? And what exactly is this secret ingredient?" "If I told you, I'd have to make you promise never to leave Maplewood," he replied, leaning casually against the counter. She laughed, the sound surprising her in her ease. Sam had a way of making her forget about the weight she had been carrying for so long. For a moment, the thought of never leaving Maplewood didn't seem so far-fetched, but she pushed the thought aside as quickly as it came. She wasn't ready to make any big decisions yet. As she sipped her coffee, Amber glanced around the diner, noticing a few of the regulars she had seen earlier in the morning. There was an older couple seated near the window, quietly talking as they shared a slice of pie. A group of teenagers sat in the back booth, laughing and playfully arguing over whose turn it was to pay for their meals. The town felt alive, not in the frantic way of the city, but in the warm, familiar way of a place where everyone had their own part to play. "Busy day?" she asked, turning back to Sam. He nodded. "Lunch rush is always like this. It slows down in the afternoon, though. Gives me a chance to catch my breath." "Do you ever get help?" Amber asked, noticing how Sam seemed to do everything himself. Cooking, serving, managing the diner. It was impressive, but she couldn't imagine how exhausting it was to be day after day. Sam glanced toward the back of the diner, where his two kids had just entered, both looking eager to pinch in. "I've got my crew," he said with a soft smile. "They help when they're not at school, though I try not to let them do too much." Amber smiled as the kids approached. She recognized them from her first visit to the diner, and now seeing them here again, she felt another layer of connection forming. The boy, who she remembered was named Ethan, was holding a stack of menus, while his younger sister, Lucy, clutched a jar of crayons. "Can we help, Dad?" Ethan asked, his face lighting up with enthusiasm. Sam gave a soft laugh. "All right, but just make sure you don't drop anything this time, okay?" "I only dropped it once," Ethan protested with a grin, before hurrying off to hand out menus to the new customers. Lucy, meanwhile, skipped over to Amber and held out the jar of crayons. "Do you want to color with me?" Amber blinked in surprise, but Lucy's wide, eager eyes made it impossible to say no. "Sure," she said, sliding into the booth next to the little girl. As Lucy started pulling out crayons and a blank sheet of paper, Amber felt a warmth settle into her bones. She hadn't expected this sense of belonging, of being welcomed into the fold so easily. She watched as Sam moved through the diner, his kids bouncing around him, the whole place buzzing with life. This wasn't just a diner. It was the center of a world that Sam had built, a world that felt increasingly like the one she could be a part of. Lucy began coloring in a drawing of a tree, the reds, oranges, and yellows filling the page as if they were plucked right from the autumn leaves outside. Amber helped her, the two of them quietly working together, lost in the simplicity of the moment. As the afternoon wore on, the lunch crowd thinned, and the diner quieted down. Sam finally had a chance to sit for a moment, sliding into the booth across from Amber and Lucy. His tired smile didn't go unnoticed, but there was something peaceful in his eyes as he watched his daughter color. "So how's your day going so far?" Sam asked, his gaze flickering to Amber. "Honestly, I don't think I've had a day this nice in years," Amber replied, her tone soft. She meant it, too. There was something about this place, about Sam and his kids, that made her feel more at ease than she had in a long time. "I'm glad to hear that," Sam said, his voice quiet but warm. "Maplewood has that effect on people. It makes you want to stay." Amber met his gaze, her heart skipping a beat. There was something in the way he looked at her, something unspoken, but undeniably real. The connection between them was growing, and it scared her just as much as it excited her. She didn't know what the future held, but one thing was certain: Maplewood was starting to feel like more than just a stop on her journey. It was starting to feel like a destination all its own. If you like Chapter 4, please leave a comment and like below, and Chapter 5 will be coming soon. Thank you.